So good morning. I'm Lieutenant Mike Norman, M-I-K-E-N-O-R-M-A-N. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Cleveland Division of Fire. We're here at the Western Reserve Fire Museum and Education Center this morning because of two fatal fires that we've had in the city on opposite sides of the city that resulted in 3 fire deaths. It's our hope to prevent these sorts of tragedies in the future. We appreciate our media members for being here today to amplify our message. Most firefighters are athletes, former or present, and we work as a team to fight fires and prevent the loss of lives and property. And we fight to win. And when we have a fire fatality, it feels like a loss. But a loss is an important opportunity to improve. So today you'll hear from Cleveland Fire Chief Anthony Luke on the importance and availability of smoke alarms in protecting you and your family. You hear from Regional CEO from the Red Cross, Mike Parks, who's going to talk about our continuing partnership through Operation Save a Life and opportunities to volunteer with the American Red Cross. And then you'll hear from Fire Museum President Scott Giesler on the educational programs available through the Fire Museum and opportunities for businesses and people to support our program that we are working with them to provide combination carbon monoxide and smoke alarms to Cleveland residents. So at this time, I'll introduce Cleveland Fire Chief Anthony Luke.
Good morning. My name is Anthony Luke, A-N-T-H-O-N-Y-L-U-K-E. I am the Fire Chief of the Cleveland Division of Fire. Thank you for joining us this morning. I wish you were here at more happy circumstances, but our fire fatality statistics this year are trending in definitely the wrong direction. Currently, we've had 7 fire fatalities this year, and we're only halfway through the year. As firefighters, each fatality impacts us directly, whether it's the firefighters on scene, whether it's the firefighters that are providing support to those firefighters on scene, or those of us in administration. Any loss of life of a citizen of this city is an impact, of course, to the citizen that perishes, their family, the entire generation, their neighborhood, just to the fabric of our community. And anytime that loss of life occurs for lack of a smoke alarm that is a relatively inexpensive device, it's just a double tragedy. These smoke alarms are available free of charge to any City of Cleveland resident through the Association of the Cleveland Fire Department and the American Red Cross. The American Red Cross has supported us in this program going back into the late 90s. Any citizen can just call. You'll have firefighters come out to your residence to install these alarms. You won't have to do a thing. We'll educate you on how to use the alarm, how to monitor the alarm, and you will protect your family and yourself from this tragedy occurring in your residence. I'm calling on the citizens of this city to action. It needs to become unacceptable to not have working smoke alarms in any City of Cleveland residence. So your friends, your neighbors, kids, talk to your parents. Anytime you're out there, this message needs to resonate among all City of Cleveland residents. I'm also calling upon our business community to assist us in this endeavor. In 1992, the City of Cleveland lost 28 residents to fire deaths. At that time, a business leader in the community stepped up and said, no more. That was Sam Miller. From his efforts and from the efforts of the American Red Cross came Operation Save a Life. Over those years, countless people have been saved, countless homes have been saved. I'm asking the business community to step up and carry that legacy forward. Through the partnership we have with the Western Reserve Fire Museum, you can go directly to their website and make a donation, $1, $5, $50. It doesn't make a difference. Anything you donate will help. These will provide tangible devices that firefighters can install in our City of Cleveland residents' homes. With that, I thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thanks, Chief. And next we'll have Mike Parks from the American Red Cross.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Chief.
My name is Mike Parks with the American Red Cross. I'm the regional CEO for Northern Ohio, MIKE-PARKS. It's a pleasure to be here, and Chief, thanks so much for those comments about our partnership that truly has spanned the decades. Back, as the Chief said, in 1992, we were losing close to 30 people a year here in the Cleveland area. And through Sam Miller and Mayor White, who, by the way, I just saw the other day, and thanked him for helping spearhead this effort. And the chief and my predecessors got together and started this program, Operation Save a Life. And it has been incredibly successful, and it's a partnership that we hold near and dear. In fact, our partnership, Chief, as we were talking earlier, is so strong that we found it suitable to actually hire one of the former chiefs of the Cleveland Division of Fire, and he's with us today, Tim O'Toole, who's been with us for almost a decade. And so that partnership runs really strong and deep here in Cleveland. This program, interestingly enough, back a decade ago, the American Red Cross realized that this program saves lives. It truly saves lives. And the organization, the American Red Cross, took it upon themselves to expand the program not only from the Cleveland and Northern Ohio region, but around the country. And we've installed more than 2 million free alarms. And that's the big word, free, to the public. Free alarms around the country, and more importantly, saved more than 2,300 lives that we know of. So this program is a winner. Operation Save a Life has become Sound the Alarm, Save a Life, and we continue to do that program. Just this past year, we installed more than 10,000 alarms in Northern Ohio, and so we're excited about continuing to do that. And as the chief said, one of the things we really need is people to help us do this, and volunteers, whether it's from corporations or just citizens who want to help. If you don't have a working smoke alarm, you need to get in touch with us. Between the fire department and obviously the American Red Cross here in Northern Ohio, we are here to help you make sure that you have a life-saving smoke alarm in your home. So we're excited about that. We'd love to have you volunteer and help us, and you can do that at redcross.org. So thank you very much, and it'll be my pleasure. Before I introduce our president, I'd like to ask the chief to come up and give him one of our challenge points, just as a symbol of our just incredible partnership. Chief, thank you very much. It's a pleasure working with you.
Thank you very much for this talk, and it's appreciated.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure.
Thanks, Mike. And the number, if people need to call to get smoke alarms, is 216-361-5535. This time we'll have Fire Museum President Scott Giesler come up and give a few words.
Thank you, Mike.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Well, welcome everyone. I'm Scott Giesler, the president of the Fire Museum here. Volunteer position, and it's a wonderful one to be in because of the mission of the museum in terms of education and preserving the history of the fire service here in Northern Ohio. Today I'd like to talk about not only the benefit of smoke detectors, but also having knowledge in terms of how to deal with a possible fire at your home, the steps that you follow through. And that's part of our education wing here at the museum. We have right adjacent to us a smoke room where we train young folks to learn how to evacuate a home that's filled with smoke, and actually they can go down a roof on the side of the escape window. We also have a demonstrator that is a training unit for folks to learn how to use a fire extinguisher, the pass system and so forth, how they go about using that to put out a fire. And then lastly, very commonplace for fires is in the kitchen. Things can be left on the stove. There are hot appliances. Things happen, generates a lot of smoke or catches things on fire around it. We have that area too, and a nice play area for kids to become familiar with firefighter gear and do other activities along those lines. And our museum is open Wednesdays through Saturdays, 10 until 4 in the afternoon, and we also invite groups to come here. As a matter of fact, we had a youth group here yesterday, and we're going to have another youth group here tomorrow. But one of the things is related to the fire and smoke detectors that, it's a wonderful program that's ongoing. We're pleased to help the fire department as well through a donation program for extinguishers, for smoke detectors, fire alarms. Years ago, I was a firefighter, back in the days when I was a younger man. And anyway, we were called out to a fire in the early hours of the morning, probably 1:30, and arrived at a smoke-filled house, basically. One of the sons had come home, left spaghetti on the stove, had that snack when he got home from work, and then forgot to turn the stove off, filled the house up with smoke. Well, we were there a while and started the exhausting of smoke. We had an elderly grandmother that needed to be evacuated because of some lung issues. And what we found out, anyway, after being there a while, we heard a beeping coming from a bedroom. Well, here was actually a smoke detector that the family had received for Christmas, but they'd stuck it in a drawer. And it did function. It did begin to alarm, even in that drawer. But just think of the time and maybe additional damage that could have been saved if they would have had it mounted properly in the area where they could have sensed that kitchen fire. Okay, so again, smoke detectors are very valuable. The work of the American Cross, the work of the fire department, we have a program with them as well to help provide smoke detectors in the community. They really can save lives. Thank you.
Scott? This time I'll open it up for questions.
Lieutenant Norman, I'm curious, whoever wants to respond can respond. But another part of this is we see so many times neighbors are the ones that are telling people inside of their home. Is it also going to help you guys with response times if people have a working smoke detector, that they're the ones that are actually seeing the fire first before a neighbor has to?
Right, well, the smoke alarms are about time and money. You know, it gives people more time to get out of the house. It shortens the amount of time that it takes us to respond because we're notified quicker. And it saves money. It's going to do less damage to your house and have a minimal loss as a result. So they're about time and money. And certainly we'll get calls from neighbors. Neighbors may hear the smoke alarms alerting. But the important thing is for the people that are in that house, have that smoke alarm alerting to wake them up and make sure that they can get out of that house safely.
If I could make a point.
Yeah.
You know, to that point, if I could just add, one of the best parts about this program isn't just the smoke alarm. It is when, you know, our volunteers from the Red Cross and our firefighters end up in the homes, the education piece. While someone is installing, we're actually installing these alarms. We're not just giving them away, because what used to happen is they end up in a drawer. Like Scott was just saying, they would end up in a drawer. Now, we install them, but while they're being installed, we do an education piece. Most people don't know you only have 2 minutes to get out of a fire. Most people, we tell them that, they go, really? And they don't have an escape plan. They don't have any of the things. So the fire safety education, some of that actually happens right here at the museum, is one of the big parts of this program that makes it so successful. I would contend that as many lives as the smoke alarms have saved, the education piece has saved just as many.
I've got a question. For some of those who may not want to or don't need to contact the fire department to install one, can you guys speak on the most effective locations to install smoke detectors in the home?
Sure. Who wants that?
Yeah, Chief, you want to? All right, So one of the things we try to tell people is not to put them in the kitchen. We don't want them installed in the kitchen because that's where most of the fires start, and pretty much, or you burn your dinner and you then take your smoke alarm down and then it becomes ineffective. So we usually put them in hallways outside of bedrooms or in bedrooms, actually, and then somewhere in a common living area. So, there needs to be one on every level. We typically put one at the entrance to the basement. We will put one if the attic is occupied or you're ever up in the attic. We typically will put one at the stairwell to go to the attic. And we just try to not put them by, for example, you don't want to put them right outside the bathroom because of the steam that potentially comes from those areas. So it's not a real big science, but there are some special places that we try to put them.
Yeah, you don't want to put it anywhere where it's going to be a nuisance, but we want them on every level of the house and anywhere that people sleep. Any other questions? All right. That concludes our ceremony. Thanks for coming out today, guys.